In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Mixuko quadcopter. This is made by Shendrones, and this is all thanks to Quadtronix. So this is the Mixuko frame from Shendrones, not to be confused with the Mixuko frame from Shendrones. This frame can run 5-inch props. The smaller one, called the Mixuko, can run 4-inch props. So Quadtronix provided this to me, and we're actually going to be giving this away at one of our beginner quadcopter races. So if you are in the Kansas area, which I don't think many of you are, you can come to our race and have a chance to win this frame. So let's take a look. Holy cow, I can already tell this frame is high quality. This frame, the edges are smooth, that feels clean, there's no dust on it at all. Oh my goodness. This is the first time I've actually seen a Shendrones frame fresh out of the package, and look at that, my fingers aren't even black. It's amazing. Look at my other videos when I'm putting the frames together. You can see the black that comes on them. Oh, there's a little bit of black on there, but it's still pretty clean compared to the other ones I've looked at. Let me get this frame put together, and we'll take a look at it a little bit closer. It's still real humorous to me how clean these are. I mean, I'm rubbing my fingers on here and I don't feel any pain. I feel smooth, smooth carbon fiber. Yeah, there's a little bit of dust, but it's just weird having this kind of carbon fiber. Anyway, these are the parts that comes with the main frame, and there's only the 4 pieces of carbon fiber and the little spacers here, so there's not a lot to this frame. This top plate is very difficult to get together. Right here, this camera mount, it slides in through these little holes here, and then you have to twist it. Well, just like every other one where you've had to kind of have the same setup, you have to twist it. It's real difficult to get this through here and then turn it, because it wants to catch on these little pieces. The way I figured out a good way to do it is, for this one anyway, put it down to concrete and then push it on like this, and that'll push that little nub up onto the carbon fiber, and it kind of pinches it. Now you don't really want to sand these down, because you want this to be tight, because it's really going to be held in place by friction here, and then the spacer that goes in between here. So here's a Mixuko frame assembled, and you can see how it's kind of designed to be kind of square here in the middle, and that's just to keep everything in tight. That way your 5-inch propellers can be a little bit closer, and you can get this frame as small as possible but still run 5-inch propellers. And you can see here the camera angle on this, it can be adjusted anywhere, any degree you want, just by grabbing this and twisting real hard, and then you tighten up these 2 screws back here in the back to tighten it up and hold it in place. And it's held in place by these screws right here that come up and have the little washer right up here to help hold that carbon fiber down. And back here in the back, it's just held in place with a little piece of the carbon fiber goes down into the hole on this top plate. And also back here on the back, it has this place right here for an antenna to go through there, so you can have your FPV antenna and hopefully keep all your FPV equipment up here and all your flight board and power distribution board stuff down below. Now, it doesn't come with any nylon spacers for your power distribution board or for your flight controller, so you have to come up with those on your own. It does have these slots here where you can put your battery strap through there and hold your battery on the bottom. Let's go ahead and get this weighed, and it comes in about 80.2 grams, and that is fully assembled. Let's go ahead and measure these arms, and they are coming in about 4 millimeters thick. Wow, that's pretty thick for 5-inch props. That's good though, I guess. This middle plate comes in about 1.5, and these side plates are 1.5 also, and this looks like it's probably 1. Oh, let me get a better angle on that. I can't. Okay, well, let's see. That's about 1.5 on the camera plate as well. We'll go ahead and measure the motor distance here, and that's centered on 0, pretty close. And over here it looks like we're doing about 195, 196. So that is pretty interesting. I'm glad it fits like that. Okay, so we got some props here. Here's a 6-inch prop, and you can see the 6-inch prop has like pretty much 0 chance of clearing this frame. You're not going to fit 6-inch props on here. You could run them on the bottom. People say, oh, you could always flip it upside down. You're not going to want to flip this one upside down. Here's a 5-inch prop, and it fits on here just fine. It clears that center with no problem. Now these frames here are cut, so it looks like, whoops, here we go. These holes in the arms are cut so that it can only support the 2200 size motors. So if you have some 1806s or some 1305s, they're not going to fit in these holes because they're not the right spacing for you. So if you bought 1806s in this frame, sorry, they're not gonna work. So here's the Mixuko frame sitting next to my LS210. This LS210 has been one of my favorite quads, and it still is. And it runs 5-inch props also. You can't run 6-inch props on this, just like this one, and that's why I got this one here to show. So if we compare these, the motor length here, it's nearly the same front to back, and side to side is a little bit wider on the LS210. But this one gives you a little bit more room for components to fit inside there, whereas this one is going to assume that you have some pretty good wiring skills, because you're going to have to desolder your ESCs and resolder the wires on, so that you don't have a whole bunch of wire mess sitting inside this little frame, because there's not a lot of room in here for wires to, you know, wrap around or anything. On this one, you have plenty of space. You can have wires wrap around in here and in and out of that thing for a long time, and the power distribution board and the flight controller can hold it all in place. But you don't buy this kind of frame to make it a mess. You want it to look clean. So this is the Mixuko frame from Shendrones. It runs 5-inch props, and don't get it confused with the Mixuko, which is a little different looking and only runs 4-inch props. Anyway, when I look at this, I think you're going to need Loctite definitely on all these connections here. Now, the only thing I'd like to have seen changed is to have some lock nuts up here instead. With these, you're going to have to put some blue Loctite on this to hold these nuts on, but it seems like you'd be better off if they would have made this a little bit longer and opened this hole up a little bit more and put a lock nut in there instead. But, you know, whatever, maybe that'll be okay. But I like this frame. I think it's going to be excellent. And like I said, Quadtronix sent this frame to me, and we're going to be giving it away at our races. So hopefully the winner will build this and appreciate it, because this is pretty awesome. And like I said, this is probably the nicest frame that I've actually had in my hands out of the package. Anyway, have any questions about this? Shendrones has a good website. He also has a good Facebook page. And if you have any questions for me, you can leave them in the comments, and I will try to answer them as best I can. And as always, thanks for watching.